Following World War I, the Treaty of Versailles left Germany with a massive bill, a tiny army, and a lot of resentment. Enter Adolf Hitler, a disgruntled former corporal and rejected art student who decided that if he couldn't paint landscapes, he would simply redraw the map of Europe. Meanwhile, in Italy, Benito Mussolini was trying to bring back the Roman Empire, and in the Pacific, an increasingly industrialized Japan was looking at its neighbors and thinking, nice resources you have there, it'd be a shame if someone annexed them. So, the global timeline. 1939. The surprise invasion. September 1939, Germany invades Poland using a brand new tactic called Blitzkrieg Lightning War. It involves moving tanks and planes so fast that the enemy doesn't even have time to put their boots on. Britain and France finally draw a line in the sand and declare war, leading to a period of absolute nothing. This 8-month staring contest becomes known as the Funny War. 1940, the Maginot Wait You Can Go Around line. May. October 1940, France has spent a fortune building the Maginot Line, an impenetrable wall of forts on the German border. The Germans simply drove their panzers around it through Belgium and the supposedly impassable Ardennes forest. France falls in 6 weeks. Britain is now standing alone. Winston Churchill offers the UK blood, toil, tears, and sweat, and, presumably, a lot of cigars. The Luftwaffe tries to bomb Britain into submission in the Battle of Britain, but the RAF politely, yet firmly, shoots them down. 1941. Poking two very large bears. June and December 1941, Hitler, getting bored, commits the classic blunder, invading Russia. Operation Barbarossa kicks off, and the Germans push deep into Soviet territory. But they forgot to pack winter coats, and General Winter arrives. The German advance freezes, literally. Meanwhile, halfway across the world, Japan decides the US Pacific Fleet in Hawaii is looking a bit too floaty. The attack on Pearl Harbor awakens the sleeping giant. The US enters the chat, bringing an absolute tidal wave of industrial production with them. 1942. The turning points. The Axis powers hit their high-water mark, and then the tide rolls out. Pacific. At the Battle of Midway, U.S. codebreakers figure out Japan's plans, sinking 4 Japanese carriers in a day. Japan's navy is suddenly feeling very submerged. North Africa. The British 8th Army gives Erwin Rommel's Afrika Corps the boot at El Alamein. Eastern Front. The Battle of Stalingrad begins. It turns into the most brutal urban combat in history, ending with an entire German army getting surrounded and captured. Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin was clearly done Stalin and went on the offensive. 1943 to 1944. Knock knock. Who's there? The Allies. The Allies invade Italy, calling it the soft underbelly of Europe. Spoiler, it was actually quite rocky and heavily defended. Then, on June 6, 1944, D-Day, the Allies crossed the English Channel and stormed the beaches of Normandy. It's the largest amphibious invasion in history. From there, it's a very violent, heavily armored race to Berlin between the Western Allies and the Soviet Red Army. 1945, the grand finale. In April, with the Soviets essentially knocking on his bunker door, Hitler takes the coward's way out. Germany officially surrenders in May, VE Day. The Pacific War grinds on with brutal island-hopping campaigns. To avoid a bloody invasion of the Japanese home islands, the US drops 2 newly invented atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan officially surrenders in September, VJ Day. The aftermath. The war reshaped the globe. The United Nations was formed to ensure this would never happen again. Results may vary. And the USA and USSR immediately started staring awkwardly at each other, kicking off the Cold War.